this all-out war on our Constitution isn't enough, Hollywood and media seem complicit also in demonizing our founding fathers as well, as I filed this special report on a new AMC show called We Hate Paul Revere. Melissa Melton here for InfoWars Nightly News. While popular patriotic shows like American Guns are getting canceled, what is slated to air is a new AMC show coming up called We Hate Paul Revere, a sitcom set in 1772 Boston that features two brothers who literally, as the title suggests, hate patriot activist Paul Revere. Revere was known for his midnight ride through the New England countryside to warn Sam Adams, John Hancock, and other patriots and patriot militias along the way that British troops were coming to destroy colonial military stores. Why does AMC think it's okay to openly demonize patriot activists who helped found this nation like Paul Revere? Why is that all right? And it's not the first time we've seen it recently either. ABC is set to premiere a show called Founding Fathers, which portrays a fictional Texas militia controlling a small town. Head writer Rich Diovidio likened the main character to Donnie Brasco, an FBI agent infiltrator. Now flashback to Alex Jones' film Road to Tyranny, and this undercover video of a FEMA representative giving a presentation to a group of police officers.
Who was the first terrorist organization in the United States? Who?
Founding Fathers.
Founding Fathers. You mean Thomas Jefferson?
Oh, yeah.
You mean George Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Paul Revere?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Did they try to scare people?
Oh, yeah.
They tried to intimidate the British. Did they use acts of violence? Your founding fathers, my founding fathers, were involved in acts of terrorism.
The rep tells the cops the first terrorist organization in the U.S. was the Founding Fathers, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and yes, even Paul Revere. So what is the standard dictionary definition of terrorism? 1. The use of violence and threats to intimidate or coerce, especially for political purposes. 2. The state of fear and submission produced by terrorism. 3. A terroristic method of governing or of resisting government. So by this definition, let's take a look at some actual terrorism. While the establishment tries to brainwash people that up is down and black is white, what's next for prime time? A sitcom called We Love Terrorists set to a laugh track? Or an Al-Qaeda reality TV show? In this time of outright attack on our republic and our Constitution, what we don't need is more media attacks on our founding fathers and patriot activists like Paul Revere. In fact, what we need is more Paul Reveres. We need 10,000 Paul Reveres to ride through the countryside and warn people about the tyranny that's enveloping our nation at this dark hour. For InfoWars Nightly News, I'm Melissa Melton. And finally tonight we turn to an article from Mike Adams of naturalnews.com. Obama turns doctors into gun control snitches running healthcare spy network. If you needed another reason to avoid visiting a doctor, Obama just gave you a new one. As part of Obama's 23 executive orders announced today, doctors will be transformed into gun control snitches who are ordered by Obama to ask patients about guns they might have at home. And if you read the executive order text, you'll see that it means that doctor-patient confidentiality is now history, and doctors will be pressed to start interrogating their patients about whether or not they own guns so that this information can be reported to the government. And the CDC has also been ordered to treat gun ownership as a disease. And later I talked to Dr. Russell Blaylock all about how Obama's CDC, which he refers to as a scientific agency, is really nothing more than a government propaganda arm, actually. And that takes us to the quote of the day. There will be pundits riding through town warning of an impending invasion, not because that's true, but because they're crazy and want attention. And that, of course, is talking about Paul Revere and making a joke out of the line that Obama's giving us about how there's pundits that are going to warn you about this tyranny encroaching on your liberty, which is the very tyranny that he's bringing to encroach on our liberty as we speak. It's just amazing. And that was actually sent to us by a follower of our InfoWars Reporter Twitter, at InfoWars Report. So thank you very much for sending that in. It actually made me laugh. Gallows humor.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.